Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Clan Sekai Major League video for 2026. I'm your host, Aries, today, joined by the Capybara, and welcome back to our higher division for our Major 1. Now, we are going to be taking a look at our higher division bracket, as we're going to be taking a look at the final match between those who Crow, who came from the winners bracket, and DQ Esports, who came from the elimination bracket. Now, if you were keeping track on every single match, DQ Esports destroyed Team Myoshi for 3-2. It was a pretty close match overall, but they were able to close it out, and DQ Esports were able to advance to the grand finals to face off against Dosu Crow. Now, Dosu Crow had a dominant run to the winners bracket, taking down Team Myoshi, and now they are waiting to figure out who their opponent were, and their opponents are now DQ Esports. Now, if you know a little bit of history between both of these teams, Dosu Crow actually lost to DQ Esports in the qualifiers, which is probably going to show why here on the leaderboards. You know, this is all the qualifier points right now, and as you can see, DQ Esports, you know, they are looking to claim the top 1 spot by making an incredible elimination run, but those who Crows still have a chance to defend their title and take down DQ Esports and get their revenge on what happened on the qualifiers. If we take a look at the bracket here, an incredible elimination run from DQ Esports, and look at that, took down almost everyone in the losers bracket to face off against those who Crow in the grand finals. So DQ Esports have a lot of games that they play just to get to the grand finals, and they are looking warmed up for this match between those who Crow. Now, before both of these teams, I'm just going to explain a little bit on this match. This match was taking place on a match arena, so everyone is on similar ping, so there'll be no ping issues or anything, and both teams are going to be allowed to sub due to some certain situations that happen. But as we take a look at our predictions, I'm going with DQ Esports to take it all. I think they're the overall better team, and I think they have the strongest potential to beat those who Crow, but those who Crow are definitely a team that are not going to be slept on. They've been playing out of their mind in these matches, and you know, 424 and Dizzy are going to go with those who Crow. But yeah, this is going to be a banger match overall between both of these teams. I think they both have a lot. They're definitely both one of the best higher division teams to face off in the grand finals, and this is going to be a banger match. But let's not waste too much time on the yap. Let's get started with what we're going to be seeing between DQ Esports and those who Crow and DQ Esports. Now we're gonna have some players gonna be playing into this match here between those who Crow. We're gonna be seeing Ju, Fire Dragon, Brawlhaps, and DQ Esports are gonna have Alex Kai, and they are allowed to have their coach Tyreek play because Who Am I was not able to play, and there were some agreements coming in from both teams. So Tyreek being the coach, he's going to be subbing in, and that was allowed because both teams were able to agree on it. But as we take a look at our maps, it's going to be a best out of 7. First team to get 4 points will be taking the ring, so taking the victory. So it's definitely going to be a long match. And if we take a look at our predictions, it's going to be 76% to 24%, and that's actually a crazy bargain coming in from those who Crow. I think they are the favorites to win this match. But let's not waste too much time as we now get started with our set 1 of Shooting Stars Bounty. Alright, as we now get started with our set 1, those who Crow, we're going to be getting their point of view in this match, and it is going to be an incredible match. If you take a look at the draft, it's going to be Fire Dragon, not Fire Dragon. It's going to be Byron, what is that, Kaze, Nani versus a Mortis, Charlie, and Jay Young. So the Blue Star lead is already going to be in favor of DQ Esports, and they already have a little bit of control in the back, but you know, those who Crow are starting to get a little aggressive, and a beautiful ping coming in from Juve, which is actually going to allow him to run away. Fire Dragon gets some nice poison off to Alex, and now the teams are starting to play for the 1-kill lead. Now, as you can see, DQ Esports, you know, they're really just trying to play for the blue star. They don't want to try to push up too much, but they also want to try to farm as many stupids as they can. Spiderwebs are going to go down, so we're just going to dodge that, and Alex just stays alive, and then be almost a kill from Fire Dragon. But looks like Byron's going to start to push up, try to get as much value as he can, and then here comes Tyreek, and a beautiful super off to Juve, but Brawlhaps is able to get a nice kill off the Byron. I mean the Charlie, and now Kai just needs to play very carefully. Nani head is going to go up, and Kai's going to get targeted. Ooh, and a nice defense from the Spiders is going to tank up that 90 shot. Now that's going to be in favor of DQ Esports. They have the 3-star lead. Now Tyreek just trying to find an opening. Juve has to be very careful, cannot afford to make any mistakes. It's almost got shut down, and Kai has to be very careful because here comes the 90 head. Now this is going to be a little dangerous. Can he tank up that shot? Tyreek is going to tank that shot to keep Kai alive, and now it's going to be 21 seconds on the clock. Beautiful spiders from Kai. Super is going to go down, and that might be a perfect kill. And now Tyreek has to play very carefully. 1 second, 12 seconds on the clock. They have to make something happen. Kai's gonna get low. Unfortunately, just go down though, and that's not very good. And Tyreek tried to make the play, but it's not going to be enough. And right now, those who Crow got all the stars, and now they're gonna be running away with it. A beautiful game coming in from those who Crow as they will be taking the first round. An incredible game coming in from those who Crow as they were able to rob the stars off of Kai, and now they take the first game. DQ Esports are going to have to play this very carefully in this match. Now the blue star is going to be in favor of those who Crow. And now they just need to play a little bit of the slow game. As you can already see, Tyreek is trying to get a little aggressive and really want to find some openings. And Alex, trying to slow things down. And the Naughty Head is going to come up, trying to look for a target. Tyreek trying to get as much damage as he can. And here comes the super. That's going to be bad. A beautiful super for Brawlhaps, which is going to confirm the kill onto Tyreek. Now the stars is going to be in favor of 3-2, and blue star is going to be in favor of those who Crow. Not 3-2, but 3-0. Beautiful blind from Juve is going to allow those Crows to have a little bit more time to reset, and a beautiful push coming in from Tyreek. And he's actually able to get away from it, and a beautiful kill from Alex. Now Juve is trying to intercept, wants to try to get damage, but is going to play very safe because Jaeyoung was able to get that heal. Now Kai has to be very careful. He cannot get shut down and needs to look for a tag. And a beautiful super from Tyreek, and that's actually going to take some of the gems, but Kai is going to get shut down. The Spiders were able to do too much, and now Alex is going to be in a very big dangerous spot. Just get shut down though. Tyreek just trying to stay alive, has the mortar super and could probably do a lot with it. Now it has to play very carefully. Beautiful tank from Tyreek is going to keep him alive. Kai wants to find a hypercharge play. 8-star lead is going to be in favor of those who go. And a beautiful slash from Tyreek, and Firetrack is actually able to get that kill on Alex, and a beautiful kill onto Kai, and that's going to be an unfortunate game coming in from those who Crow. DQ Esports, and not those who Crow are in the lead. Can Kaze hold back Tyreek? He's going to try to go for aggressive play, wants to find something, but Alex is trying to stay alive, want to get as much damage as he can, but it's not going to be enough. And a beautiful team wipe coming in from those who Crow. And they will be taking the second game as they will be also taking the first set. A beautiful game coming in from those who Crow, taking the 2-game lead, and Fire Dragon is going to be the MVP for that match. And an unfortunate game coming in from Kai. But yeah, those who Crow looking so strong right now. They're showing DQ Esports that they have what it takes to shut them down. But yeah, those who Crow definitely take a really good game off of DQ Esports. Now it's going to put the pressure onto DQ Esports to make a comeback. As we now get started with our next set of Rings of Fire Hot Zone Set 2. As we now get started with our set 2 of Rings of Fire Hot Zone. Looking at the draft, it's going to be a Penny Chester, and a Pierce going against a Meepo, Ali the Alligator, and Otis. So looking at the draft overall, I think those who Crow really have a good draft. They start to get a lot of more control, but the problem is Tyreek on the Ali the Alligator could really do a lot of damage, and look, already got the kill onto Juve. Now, if Tyreek starts farming up kills early game, it could probably be a really big problem for those who Crow. But also, DQ Esports need to try to hold control in the middle. And here comes Tyreek, tries to make the play, but a beautiful defense from Juve, which is actually going to keep Brawlhaps alive. Now the game is going to be played a little bit slow, and now DQ Esports starting to get a little bit more zone time, and Tyreek trying to get aggressive, wants to find the kill to Brawlhaps, and actually does get the kill. The game's being played a little slow. Fire Dragon just trying to stay alive, and a beautiful kill from Tyreek. Now the Mortar is going to go down, and this is going to give Penny a little bit more control to hold down the mid. Mortar just trying to get rid of Kai, but Kai is going to stay alive. Super is going to go down from Chester. Doesn't really get too much out of it. Tyreek just trying to get aggressive. Is going to get shut down. Is going to keep Brawlhaps alive, but now look at the percentage right now. DQ Esports are having so much time into the zone, and you know, the Fire Dragon and then Dozy Crow were not able to get anything out of it. Now this is exactly what I was talking about. If Tyreek gets an early game with a lot of kills, he could be a massive problem for Dozy Crow. Look at that, 88% to 29, and now Dozy Crow finally stepped on the zone, but you have to be careful because the Meeple has a gadget and it could do so much with it. It's going to create some space and get the kill onto Kai, and a beautiful, but doesn't really get anything out of it. Actually, Alex does stay alive, and this is going to be a first game coming in from DQ Esports. A beautiful game coming in from DQ Esports. This is the exact good response they need. Tyreek just needs to get a little bit more kills on that Dally the Alligator to really cause a problem for Dozy Crow. But let's see if Dozy Crow are able to, you know, recover from this match and figure out what the problems are. Now they really need to take down Tyreek, because now here comes the gadget from Alex, right? And that's going to give them a little bit more time onto the zone. Fire Dragon tries to make the play, but Tyreek gets a beautiful kill onto the Pierce. And that's going to really stall up so much time here. But a fortunate blunder coming in from DQ Esports. And actually, Kai was actually able to get that kill and actually gets away with it. A beautiful gadget onto the middle, which is going to slow down Fire Dragon to hold it down the mid. And there goes Alex, hold it down the mid. And Tyreek is able to trade a kill off of Juve. And now the percentage is starting to slowly come back from Dozy Crow as they now stand onto the middle. Now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Tyreek is going to go invisible and wants to find an opportunity. It's going to stay onto the right, and a beautiful wall break from Juve, which is going to slow things down. Tyreek trying to make a play, but fortunately is going to go down, and here comes the gadget from Alex, and now he's going to place down the super, which is going to allow him to shoot through walls, but they have to be very careful because now they got the mortar, which is going to be a big problem, and Tyreek is looking to ignore the mortar. Just goes through the kill into the Pierce and wants to find more, but isn't able to get anything out of it. Now the mortar is going to allow Dozy Crow to hold a little bit more control in the middle, and now here comes a beautiful super from Alex. Now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Tyreek is starting to get a little bit into the right zone, getting some really good grabs, but Brawlhaps is able to get a good kill into Alex, and now this is where the problem happens. Now Tyreek is getting the kills, right? He's taking one brawler at a time, but he needs his teammate to stay alive, and there he goes, able to take up another kill. Now this should be able to put more time onto DQ Esports to hold down the zone, but now they have a hypercharged Penny turret, which is going to be a bit of a problem in this match. The gadget is going to go down, hypercharge is going to go down, try to slow things down. Juve does place out a hypercharge to kill Alex, and now Kai is going to activate the hypercharge. Can he find the connections he needs? Goes for the mute, but doesn't get anything out of it. And now Tyreek can't really push up too much right now because, you know, those who Crow are pointing as a unit, and if he pushes in there, he's just going to get shut down immediately. Hypercharge is going to go down, doesn't really get anything out of it. A perfect Penny gadget to shut down Tyreek, and this is going to be a really, really good game coming in from Dozy Crow, as they will be able to tie up the game. A beautiful game for the game number 2 of Dozy Crow, tying up the score to 1-1. Can DQ Esports come back and figure out what they need to get, what they need to do correctly for this match? Gadget is going to go down, and now it's going to hold on to the middle. Tyreek gets a nice trade onto the Penny. Juve is able to secure that kill. Now Juve wants to try to hold down to the middle. Now here's where the problem comes in. The Pierce has a lot of range, and they can hold down the middle very well without any problem. Now if the Chester is just protecting the Pierce from the Alligator, it could probably be a really big problem from Tyreek, because Tyreek does not want to feed, you know, the Chester too much where he farms up his hyper. And now this is exactly what I was talking about. Now Juve is going to get a tag, but Tyreek is still able to get the kill, but that was still some supercharge from Juve. Super is going to go down. A beautiful trade from Fire Dragon. Brawlhaps is able to get that kill onto Kai. And now Tyreek tries to go for a play and does get shut down overall. Juve is going to hold down to the right, and here comes Alex, tries to make a play, but doesn't really get too much out of it. You know, Tyreek is starting to get aggressive, and it's going to shut down Juve, but Brawlhaps is still holding down the middle alongside Fire Dragon. Tyreek just needs to get a beautiful kill, actually gets a 1 out of it, and wants to find Fire Dragon, can't get the kill. He's not able to get anything out of it though, and the gadget is going to go down from Alex. Now they're starting to get a little bit more zone time, but you know, Kai needs to try to hit a little bit more shots on the Otis and do as much damage as he can, because Fire Dragon is just holding down the mid very well. Tyreek, you know, knows there's a turret there, and is going to use the gadget to try to create some room. And now it's going to be a very close percentage game, 44 to 44. And one person is just waiting to make the move. Tyreek is going to get a beautiful kill onto Juve, and now the hypercharge is going to be activated from Alex, which is going to hold down the middle. Fire Dragon just trying to get as much connection as he can. He has all the eggs to work with, holding down the middle, but doesn't really get anything out of it. And Alex is just trying to, needs to get back here as soon as possible, and Juve's just trying to slow down Tyreek, and Tyreek is trying to dodge as many as he can, but he actually gets shut down, unfortunately, and the hypercharge is going to be used from Fire Dragon, and that's going to be very good for those who crow to get so much percentage. And now here comes Tyreek, has the water to juice for advantage, is going to shut down Brawlhabs, and now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Tyreek tries to go for the kill into Fire Dragon. That's a beautiful kill. He actually is staying alive, does have the super, but he should probably wear the health gear so he can get a pretty good reset. Tyreek just waiting for a tag. He's going to get shut down, and a beautiful team wipe coming in from Those Who Crow, but they're looking to close out this game 93% to 73, and it is not looking good, as Those Who Crow will be taking the third game and will also be taking the second set. A beautiful game coming in from Those Who Crow, as they will be taking the second set, and Juve is going to be the MVP for that match. An incredible game, which is going to allow them to be at 2-0 in the lead. Now this is where it starts to get dangerous right now for DQ Esports, because they haven't even got a set off yet, but they need to come back strong in this next game in order to close things up, as we now get started with our next match, which is going to be Brawl Ball. And it's going to be set 3 of Pinhole Punt. As we now get started with our set 3, looking at the draft from Those Who Crow and DQ Esports, we're going to be seeing a Hank and a Meeple and an Otis going against a Chester, Ruffs, and Stu. So looking at the draft overall, I still think Those Who Crow really have draft here, because like the Hank could be a bit of a problem. It does 4K shots, and like if you do something like that, you get a really huge kill. But Tyreek is able to get, or never mind, the goals are going to be, put down from Fire Dragon. Now, the problem with the Hank, right? The Hank could do some pretty good 4K damage, but if Tyreek is getting some beautiful tags with the Chester, probably going to farm up a good amount of a hypercharge off of the Hank. Could probably be a little bit of a dangerous problem, especially when you have Alex that also has a hypercharge. You can just get Tyreek to spam as many bombs as possible. Now the Stu, right? Stu is going to be a little bit of a problem for the Meeple, because he can just dodge like so much. And here's what this is exactly what I was talking about. Tyreek is going to throw down a hypercharge and takes down the Hank. Now the game is going to be played a little bit slow, but Those Who Crow still have the lead. It's going to give Tyreek the hypercharge, and now he's going to be able to get his super, and it's going to be a hypercharge super. Now this is going to be a little bit of a problem. You're going against Tyreek, because look, he has the hypercharge and he can do so much damage, and Alex just wants to try to get his super again. Hypercharge is going to go down, and Brawlhabs is going to get shut down, and Juve just trying to hold down the middle, wants to find as much connections as he can, and Fire Dragon is going to get killed, and now Alex just waiting for an opportunity. Super is going to go down, he's going to pick it up, and now he's going to have extra damage on the Ruffs. Now Kai wants to find an opening onto Brawlhabs, and Brawlhabs just needs to play his life and not try to feed too much for Kai and Tyreek, but now he's going to hold down the middle, gets a nice pop onto Tyreek, but he has to try to stay alive as much as he can. He's going to pop up a bottle, but he's trying to get some damage, and Juve is going to try to hold down the middle. Alex is trying to go for a score opportunity, and Tyreek is going to get shut down, unfortunately, by Fire Dragon, and a beautiful kill from Alex, but I don't think that's still going to be enough, because Fire Dragon is going to pop the hypercharge, and that's just going to slow things down. And Those Who Crow already about to take another round in this game, and they are looking for a 3-0 in the lead, and they be taking the first round. An incredible game coming in from Those Who Crow. They're starting hot in this match, and they are not even backing down at all. And you know, those who grow are looking dangerous right now in this tournament, and they are doing incredible right now. As they take the first game, perhaps wants to try to create as much space as they can. They just need to get 2 more sets in order to close out this tournament, but they're looking to grab their third. Now the game's gonna be played a little bit slow. Now Kai wants to try to get as much value as he can, and Tyreek is going to get shut down by Brawlhaps. Kai tries to intercept and tries to get the ball as far as he can. Now Firejack can possibly get the ball from Juve, and this should be able to close things down, but a beautiful mute from Tyreek, which is going to not give him the goal at all. Now the game's going to be played a little bit slow. DQ Esports trying to get as much value as they can. Alex is going to get shut down by Juve with a beautiful tag, and Kai just wants to try to get as much value as he can. And here comes a super shot, a beautiful pass onto the Brawlhaps, which is able to score the goal. And now this is going to be a little bit of a dangerous game overall. Fire Dragon, you know, really tries to get anything out of it, and you know, Brawlhaps is going to get a beautiful tap onto Tyreek. Hypercharge is going to go down, tries to slow down everything. Super is going to be popped, but doesn't really get too much out of it. Kai just trying to slow things down, has to be very careful. It's going to get shut down by the Hank, and now the Hank is going to get a little aggressive, trying to find Tyreek out of it, but it's not able to get anything. Juve goes for the amazing score, and that's going to close out that set, as those who crow will be taking the third set. An incredible, beautiful game coming in from those who crow, and Tyreek is going to be the MVP for that match. But oh my god, those who crow just need 1 more set to close out this tournament, and they are already 3-0 in the lead. It is not looking good for DQ Esports. They haven't even got to get anything out of it, and you know, those who crow are playing out of their mind. But as we now get started with our set 4 of Hard Rock Mine. Final set to close the entire tournament off. Those who crow need this final game to close this entire tournament with a 4-0 against DQ Esports, the villains of this tournament. Whereas we now get started with this match, taking a look at the draft, it's going to be a Lily, Otis, and a Charlie going against a Mortis, Meeple, and a Mo. So looking at this comp, right now, you got Kai on the Meeple, right, to hold down the middle, or then you got Tyreek on the Mortis. Now he could do some pretty crazy things on the Mortis, and you know, Alex on the Rat could be a bit of a problem overall, and the gadget is gonna be popped from Kai, but you know, a beautiful super from the Lily. Brawlhaps was able to get, you know, still able to get the kill, but they get shut down overall. And now Tyreek, you know, tries to get as much value as he can, and you know, really wants to try to keep the Lily, like, from getting any gems off of Meeple. And you know, if Kai, you know, plays it forward, it has to be very careful. Oh, he actually misses the super. Now this is actually able to, you know, close out that kill off for the Lily. And now Fire Dragon tries to go for a play out to Tyreek. Tyreek really wanted to get something, but it's going to get shut down. And now the game is going to be played a little bit slow overall. Tyreek wants to try to get as much value as he can. He has a hypercharge, and he could probably make some dangerous plays. And the hypercharge is going to go down. Fire Dragon is going to get shut down. Tyreek is able to take all the gems and a beautiful hyper from Tyreek, and that's going to close out that game. But can those who crow make an intercept, and the gadget is going to be a pop from Brawlhaps. Kai just trying to stay alive, wants to go for the play, a beautiful kill, and Alex just trying to get as much tags as he can, goes for the super onto the Charlie, and now DQ Esports are finally able to get around off of those who crow when they need it the most. But can they close out this set? Those who crow are still, you know, playing pretty good overall, and really making DQ Esports work for it. But now game's gonna be played a little bit slow in this next round. Brawlhaps wants to try to find as much damage as he can, but it does get shut down. Overall, Tyreek wants to try to farm mainly for his super, and tries to go for a kill onto Fire Dragon, and a nice Cocoon onto Fire Dragon, which is gonna slow things down. And now this is where it starts to get a little dangerous. DQ Esports don't really have that many gems to work with. It's going to be 3-2 gems in favor of those who crow, and a beautiful kill onto Tyreek against Juice. And you know that's gonna really like slow down the pace from Those Who Crow, and a beautiful super from Alex, which is gonna allow so much aggression from DQ Esports. And now they already have a 5th gem lead, which is gonna probably close out this round. But they still need to get a little bit more gems overall. You know, Juice just trying to find some values on, you know, try to find some damage. A beautiful super from Tyreek, but a nice cocoon from Fire Dragon, which is gonna, you know, try to get a crazy amount of damage overall. But this is going to be dangerous overall from coming in from the teams. But you know, they have to play this a bit carefully overall. You know, Tyreek is gonna go for amazing super play, and you know he has the hypercharge. He's able to do so much damage, and now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Now DQ Esports looking to take a set. They have so much value, and now this is where it starts to get dangerous because Tyreek, you know, he has all the gems. He's able to stay alive, and it's not going to be enough as DQ Esports will be taking this set. Finally a set coming in from DQ Esports against Those Who Crow, and now they're able to close out that game, taking a set lead, and now it's going to be 3-1, Tyreek being the MVP for this match. And now this is exactly what DQ Esports needed. Now they stay alive by getting the final set. It could have possibly been a 4-0, but a blunder coming in from Those Who Crow, and they were not able to close out that set. But now can DQ Esports make a crazy reverse sweep in this match as we now get started with our next set of set 5 of Knockout. Alright, for our set 5 now, let's see if anything can happen in this round. Looking at the draft, it is going to be a Nigia, Buster, and a Bell going against a Squeak, Colette, and a Meepo. Now, looking at the draft from DQ Esports, they have a pretty good control comp. Now, the Buster is going to be a pretty decent pick overall because he's able to put the aggression to give his team much space. But the problem is, if Tyreek gets some beautiful tags onto Fire Dragon, he could probably do so much damage. And look at this, Fire Dragon already gonna have to run back. And now this is where it starts to get a little bit dangerous for Those Who Crow. Juve, tries to get as many tags as he can, wants to try to slow things down, but they need to close out this game. And DQ Esports, are starting to get very desperate right now. And, they want to really push back Those Who Crow as much as they want, and they want to try to create as much space as possible. Now, Fire Dragon does have the super. It's going to get tagged up by it a little bit too much, and it's going to activate the hypercharge to try to take out that shot from Tyreek. But now he needs to stay alive. Now, Juve is going to start to push up onto Kai, and Kai's going to get snuck up on, unfortunately, onto Juve. And Alex goes for an amazing super play, and can he clear out the kill? And Tyreek is the only one alive, and a beautiful tag off Tyreek, and Tyreek was almost about to take that round. But now Those Who Crow starting to get a little bit more momentum coming into that game, and Juve needs to get as many tags as possible. Now Kai's gonna pop the gadget into the middle, which is gonna allow Those Who Crow not to shoot as much. They have to really try to play for the hypercharge of Fire Dragon, and if that hypercharge on Buster could really create a lot of space. Now Juve is going to try to get aggressive, tries to make a play, doesn't really get too much out of it. Tyrika has a hypercharge, he's going to throw it and tries to get some tags. Can he get the kill onto Brawlhalla? He just stays alive. And that's actually going to be good because you definitely want to have your team alive in this match. Now the game's going to be played a bit slowly. Tyreek wants to try to get as many connections as he can, and now Kai is going to pop up the entrance, which is going to slow things down, and now Tyreek is trying to hold up the middle, and now the super is going to, span up a little bit of the shots, and now Alex has a hypercharge to work with. This could be a bit dangerous. Juke is going to go for the play. Doesn't get shut down, unfortunately, and Alex is going to get killed out, and now this is going to get dangerous. Now they have to figure out what they need to focus on. The Buster is going to start to push up, and Kai is going to shut him down with the play, goes for the kill, but can Fire Dragon close this one out? Tyreek trying to get as many damage as he can, and Fire Dragon is going to activate the hypercharge, but it does get shut down. Oh my lord, and a blunder from Fire Dragon. He could have really tanked up that shot and really got the kill off of Tyreek, and that's going to be a blunder. Must have miscalculation. Now that's going to be a little bit of a bad game coming in from Dozu Crow, but they still have a chance to close this one out. Now Fire Dragon does get the super off of Juve, and now Kai places down a gadget in the middle to slow things down, and a beautiful gadget coming in from Brawlhaz, which is going to keep Tyreek low, allowing the Buster to hold down the middle just by a little bit. But the gadget's going to be popped down, trying to slow as much thing as possible. Tyreek tries to go for a play. Super is going to be played from Fire Dragon, but this is going to be dangerous. Kai needs to get some tags onto Fire Dragon. Fire Dragon just trying to stay alive as much as he can. Does get hit by the gadget, but Kai is looking desperate. He wants to get the kill, and does get the kill off of Fire Dragon. Now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Can the Nagia get his hypercharge? And now this is going to be perfect. Right now the Super's going to go off and tries to make the play. And here comes the hypercharge. Alex is going to tank up all those shots, and that's actually going to be really a beautiful play from Alex to keep Kai alive. And now this is looking like a game coming in from DQ Esports as they will be taking the first round. An incredible play from Alex, taking down all those snakes to slow down the push from killing Kai, and now DQ Esports need one more round in order to get the next set. Now the game's going to be played a little bit slowly now. Now they're starting to figure out what the mistakes are. Dozu Crow really want to try to get as much control off of DQ Esports, but it's very hard when you got a Squeak that's just holding down the lane very well. And here comes the super from Fire Dragon, really trying to slow things down, but really it didn't get too much out of it overall. And oh, and a beautiful gadget from Fire Dragon, but a nice gadget from Alex, which is going to keep Tyreek alive, and Kai just trying to stay alive, wants to find a connection. It is going to get a beautiful dodge from Kai. Actually didn't get hit by that Nagia, and now this is going to be perfect from DQ Esports. They have a 3-man lead. Tyreek wants to get a little bit more tags, wants to try to slow things down, and now they just need to play for their hypercharge. And if they get their hypercharge, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a dangerous game. Gadget is going to be popped from Kai, put in the wall down in the middle. But now I don't think it's still going to be enough for Dozu Crow. Juve doesn't want to feed DQ Esports any more supers, but yeah, now it's definitely going to be a game from DQ Esports as they now have the round in their hands. One more round and they'll be able to run away with the set. And now Fire Dragon has to hypercharge to make some plays happen. Kai is gonna gadget down the middle to create more space for DQ Esports. And now they're all just playing together. Now they want to try to go for a play and, you know, try to really like keep Fire Dragon back, because now he has the hypercharge, and if he runs down the middle, he's definitely going to be a problem. Now Alex wants to go for a play, needs to get as many tags as he can, and you know, Juve is getting some beautiful tags and closing that down, and then a beautiful gadget from Fire Dragon. Now it's only up to Kai to staying alive, but he gets shut down by the Nagia. Dozu Crow still have one more game to claim a round for themselves, but now they gotta play this a little bit slowly. Tyreek has a Squeak, could do so much with it, but he needs to get as many tags as he can off the Fire Dragon. Fire Dragon just waiting for opportunity, waiting to when he could push up, and Alex does also have a gadget as well, and he can actually do some crazy plays with it if he is able to hit that hypnotize gadget. Tyreek does have a super to work with. Juve tries to go for a hypercharge but doesn't catch Alex off guard, and he is not marked, and that's going to be a little bit dangerous from Juve. You know, he really wants to try to get rid of Alex immediately, and Tyreek just trying to hold down the middle. Dozu Crow want to find as much connections as they can. Gadget's going to be put down from Tyreek, which is going to slow things down, and a beautiful super, and Fire Dragon is actually able to tank out most of that, and a beautiful play coming in from DQ Esports, and they might be able to close this one out. Alex is trying to stay alive. Fire Dragon tries to get as much value as he can, doesn't really get too much out of it. Tyreek trying to get rid of Fire Dragon immediately, but this gets shut down, and it's only up to Kai to stay alive, the only soul left, and Dozu Crow tie things up and take the second game. Going to be a little bit of a dangerous game coming in from Dozu Crow. DQ Esports. They have one more game to close out this tournament, but now they need to get the next 2 rounds in order to become our Major 1 champions. Now Kai is gonna gadget up and take down the Nagia, but Tyreek is trying to stay alive, and oh wait, this could be a blunder. Alex gets a beautiful super. Juve goes for the gadget play. Tyreek knows he's taking some damage, And can he get the kill? Doesn't really get anything out of it, but that was almost an impressive play from the Buster, but he wasn't able to get Tyreek at all, and that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But now the game is going to be played a little bit slowly from Those Who Crow, and a beautiful gadget from Alex. Really wants to try to farm up as much hyper as he can, and now Juve is going to die to the storm. And now DQ Esports, one more round, and they will be able to get the next set. Game is going to be played a bit slowly. Now DQ Esports waiting for an opportunity, but they have to play this a bit scary. I mean, they have to play this very, very carefully, because now Fire Dragon has the hypercharge, and he could do so much with the hypercharge. Juice is going to activate it, and now going to put it on Tyreek, which is going to make him very vulnerable and weak. And, you know, there could be a lot of damage being sent his way. Tyreek is going to run down the middle, try to, you know, close down Fire Dragon, but he really went for the super onto the Niger, but the Niger was not able to get hit by any of them. I don't think he did, but now we're seeing what's gonna happen here. Tyreek just slowing down Gadget just to hold down the middle, and you know, Kai needs to try to go for like, you know, get super so he could like slow down Fire Dragon from pushing up, because Tyreek could get some pretty good tags overall. But now Alex has a super, and now this is where it starts to get dangerous. He's going to use the super, doesn't get anything out of it. This gets shut down, unfortunately. And Fire Dragon holding down the middle, which is going to give his team enough room to work with. But Tyreek just needs to get a little bit of his hypercharge in order to get the next game. And it's going to be a beautiful team wipe from Those Who Crow. And now they are one more game from closing out this entire tournament. And can they do it? This is the game they need in order to close Major 1, and DQ Esports are desperate for this win. They need to get this round in order to keep their lives and their tournament lives forever, but they really have to play this smart. Now Kai is going to get Mark, which is going to be a little bit unfortunate. Perhaps he's going to get hit by the hypercharge, and no, that's going to be a blunder. Not looking good. Does get hit by the hypercharge, unfortunately, but can Fire Dragon and Juve save the tournament and stop this once and for all? Fire Dragon dodging as many squeak charges as is going to use the super to slow things down, but wants to get that damage. Alex is going to go for a beautiful hyper, and that's going to shut them down as DQ Esports survive, and they will be taking the third game. Those Who Crow really wanted to close out that tournament with a 4-1, but now Those Who Crow fortunately losing this match, giving DQ Esports another set. It's now 3-2, and the reverse sweep is incoming, but can DQ Esports get this amazing, incredible reverse sweep onto Those Who Crow? Will Those Who Crow shut this down? As we now get started with our next set, it's going to be I think set 6. As we now get started with set number 6, Heist Bridge Too Far, and this could potentially be the final set to close out the tournament between Those Who Crow and DQ Esports. Another draft is going to be Amber, Bell, and a Kaze going against a Angelo, Melody, and a Finks. Pretty interesting comms coming in from both teams. I prefer to have the Bell on the Melody, because that's going to probably be the better play for Those Who Crow. And now the percentage of damage is going down from DQ Esports. Look at that, they already got amazing amount of damage, and you know, Kai was able to get that 4K, and now Alex is just holding down the middle, keeping Brawlhaps back, and you know, Kai wants to shut down Fire Dragon immediately, wants to get as much damage as he can, but Fire Dragon is able to get rid of Kai, and now Tyreek tries to go for a play. It's going to get shut down. A beautiful defense coming in from Those Who Crow, but still 69% to 83, and Kai is trying to go for a 4K. Wants to find a tag, gets a beautiful tag onto Fire Dragon, but now he's desperate. Kai trying to get as much value as he can, wants to slow things down, and just gets shut down by Fire Dragon, and Tyreek has the super, can make a play, needs to dodge the bell shot, is going to get shut down though, but 69% to 75. And those who Crow need to close out this game. Kai wants to get as much damage as he can. He's gonna try to shut down Kai, but Kai just trying to barely stay alive. Does get the kill. He's actually able to stay alive, but is not able to get too much out of it. Alex needs to get rid of that Amber. Now Tyreek going for some super plays, getting some beautiful damage. And this is going to be good. 49% to 15. And it's starting to get really, really close in this match. Fire Dragon trying to hold down the middle. It's going to go for the super play into the middle. And Tyreek is able to tank some of those shots. Now Juve wants to find a value. Kai needs to get some beautiful tags onto Brawlhaps to slow things down. It's going to get burned up a lot. And now Tyreek walking down the middle wants to get as much value as he can. A beautiful Amber shots onto DQ Esports safe. And now this is starting to get a little dangerous. DQ Esports on their last pop. I don't think it's still going to be enough time overall because Tyreek, you know, he's going to get hit by the hypercharge of Bell, and now it's going to slow things down. And this possibly might be a round for those who Crow, as they are doing so much damage overall, and it is not going to be enough as those who Crow take the first game. And this could be the final set for DQ Esports if they don't win these next 2 rounds. Those who Crow need this game immediately. They need to stop this tournament from letting DQ Esports run away with every game. But now it's starting to be a little different in this next game. Now DQ Esports are now going to be a brawler advantage in the lead, and Kai gets a good support onto Alex, which is actually going to shut him down. And now Fire Dragon trying to run down the middle, tries to get as much value as he can. Tyreek is going to shut down the Kaze from running down the middle, and now Alex, dodging the Bell, wants to get as much space as possible. And now it's 91% to 100. DQ Esports, have a little bit more control. Now the super is going to go down from Kaze, which is going to take up a little bit damage onto DQ Esports safe. And Alex, wants to hold down the middle, and Tyreek, looking for an opportunity. Could get some pretty good damage overall. And Alex goes for a play, and now a beautiful pop coming in from DQ Esports. Tyreek has the hypercharge, and he could be very dangerous with that. And it's going to be 63% to 62, and those who Crow, are not that far behind. But here comes Tyreek, goes for a beautiful hypercharge, and now this could be a next percentage pop coming in from DQ Esports. Fire Dragon trying to get as much value as he can, but is not able to get anything. And Tyreek looking to get the next pop, but doesn't really get it out. And now Alex wants to get some damage onto the middle, needs to hold the position. Alex, looking for a connection onto Fire Dragon. Fire Dragon is going to place down his super to get a little bit more damage, and possibly got the safe pop for DQ Esports. And now this is starting to get a little dangerous. Tyreek looking to get the next pop, and now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Alex trying to get as much damage as he can, and Kai looking for the last bit of damage, but this is looking like a DQ Esports round, and Tyreek looking to close this one out, and now it's tied up 1-1. Now this is where it starts to get a bit dangerous for those who Crow. DQ Esports are starting to see the weakness of DQ Esports starting to see the weakness from those who Crow, seeing what they're doing wrong. But now they have an opportunity to close out this game. Here comes the super from Fire Dragon. He's going to get desperate now. He wants to get as much damage as he can early game in order to keep DQ Esports from just defending the entire time. Let's see what they can do now. Juve just trying to hold down the right. Wants to get as much value as he can. And now this is where it starts to get a bit dangerous right now for DQ Esports. They want to try to hold down the middle and try to get as much value as they can. But now Kai is getting some pretty good tags off of anyone here, and now it's just really slowing down the push from those who Crow. Now Tyreek is going to run down the middle, try to get as much value as he can, doesn't really get anything out of it, and now this is where it starts to get a bit dangerous from those who Crow. But overall, it's starting to be a little bit of a tie game. 88% to 87, not that far from taking a victory from those who Crow. Now the Amber is going to try to slow down Tyreek, tries to go for a play, and then tries to go for the kill, but Amber is able to shut that down. But damage is starting to be received from DQ Esports. The first pop is going to be put down, and now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Alex is going to get beautiful damage, and look at that, 55% from DQ Esports, and now they need to get as much kills as possible. Alex is going to shut down Amber, and now this is where it's get dangerous. Kai wants to get as much damage as he can. Needs to take down Fire Dragon, tries to get the connection, but his aim is missing all the shots, unfortunately. But Juve tries to get something going, but now this is where it gets dangerous. The hyper charge is going to be ready from Burlhaps, which is going to completely save so much time. And Alex is going to run down the middle, really trying to beat Amber to shoot. And here comes Alex. He's going to run down the middle, wants to force Amber to burn all of that, and a beautiful kill. And the Gadget tries to go for the Gadget Boy to get some ammo out of it, but doesn't really get too much out of it. Now this is where it gets dangerous. Tyreek's going to get the hypercharge. He wants to get as much value as he can, and that beautiful defense from Alex, and it's starting to get a little dangerous. Tyreek try to get the next pop, and now this is where it got dangerous. Alex is getting some few more damage. Kai trying to go for the 4K shot. It's going to shut down Burlhaps, and Alex is trying to look for much more damage, but a beautiful defense coming in from Tyreek is going to shut that thing down, and now it's going to be 28%, and this is going to be a set from DQ Esports as they are looking to do the unthinkable, as they will be taking set number 6, and we are going to the final set, the third game coming in, going to DQ Esports. And now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Alex is definitely going to be the MVP for this match. He was playing out of his mind, and now we are going to the final set for set 3. DQ Esports looking to make the incredible reverse sweep off of Those Who Crow. But now this is where it starts to get dangerous. Going into the final set, going to be Brawl Ball Sneaky Fields. Can DQ Esports make the reverse sweep? The sub starts to come in, and it's going to be replaced of Joof. It's going to be Grogu on the bull. He is going to be the replacement for Joof on this match, and now this is where it gets a little dangerous for DQ Esports, because Grogu is actually a pretty good player overall. But looking at the draft, it's going to be a Bull, Charlie, and a Chester going against a Kenji, Nita, and a Meepo. Now Gugu's gonna go for the super play, try to get aggro, and now, oh my god, an intercept from DQ Esports. It's actually able to get that score. First score is gonna go from DQ Esports. Now this is starting to get a little dangerous. Gugu has the super. He's gonna be crazy on that bull. He's looking for a play, wants to find something, but has to play very carefully. He's gonna play very slow. Tyreek trying to get some tags. Super's gonna go down. Gugu's trying to go for the play, wants to get the goal. Doesn't really get anything out of it, but it's gonna go for a nice double kill, and that's gonna be the first another goal coming in from Those Who Crow. Now this is starting to get a little dangerous. Fire Dragon has to hypercharge. He can make some incredible plays happen. Goku's gonna try to go aggressive, tries to go for some beautiful damage, and DQ Esports are getting shut down in this first round as Those Who Crow take the round. Now they just need to take one more to shut down this entire tournament and stop in the reverse sweep from DQ Esports. Virgil gonna hold down the middle, wants to play this very carefully. Tyreek trying to hold down the right lane, and now Alex, looking for opportunity, wants to try to, get his hypercharged bear, and Brady wants to get his bear into Soda. Goku's gonna go aggressive and tries to go for a play. Tyreek is gonna shut that down. Kai needs to get the ball out of there, and now Brawlhaps, tries to go for a play, and now he's actually trying to go for the goal, trying to go for the pop, but Tyreek is able to catch the ball. Now this is where it gets a little dangerous. Gugu gonna get a little aggressive. If he sees Kai in the dangerous aspect, he wants to try to get as much value as he can. And Tyreek is gonna try to take down Brawlhaps. Wants to find as much damage as he can. Needs to get his super immediately, but it's gonna slow things down. Now Kai looking for the tags onto Brawlhaps. It's gonna shut that down, and now Alex has to hypercharge. Now this is where it gets dangerous, because Tyreek, really wants to make sure that Gugu is spaced out just by a little bit. Just try to mainly go for the tags. So the super is gonna go out. Gugu is gonna slow things down. Now this is where it gets a little bit dangerous. Super is gonna go down for Tyreek. That's gonna shut down Gugu, and now it's only up to Brawlhaps to keep the team alive. He tries to stall as much time, and now Kai looking to pass the ball to Tyreek, but Gugu is back. Now looking to slow down the game. And DQ Esports had the opportunity to close that one out. Tyreek is trying to get as many tags onto Gugu. Wants to slow things down. Goes for the super play. Now Gugu gets a nice kill. Figure out where he was landing. And now Kai want to get as much kills, needs to get that kill onto Fire Dragon, but is not able to get anything out of it. But Gugu has to hypercharge. Now this is where it gets dangerous. DQ Esports have to play this very carefully because Goku has the hypercharge and he can make insane plays happen. Tyreek trying to slow things down, and Super is gonna, keep Kai from pushing up too much. And the hypercharge is gonna be used from Alex trying to slow things down. Goku gets a nice kill, and Goku wants to find Tyreek by himself. It's gonna be shut down though, and that's gonna be a team wipe. Coming in from Dosu Crow, Kai being the only one to defend it, but he needs to get his bear. Alex is going to get the bear actually, and now this is where it gets dangerous. Goku wants to find an opening. He's looking for something. This could be dangerous. He's looking for a call. Go for the ball in the middle. It's going to actually go for an amazing goal from Dosu Crow. But 15 seconds on the clock. Can DQ Esports get the last second play? Fire Dragon is going to slow things down with the hypercharge, and now he's running away with it. And as you can see, Dosu Crow are spinning as they are going to be your Major 1 champions, as they have stopped the reverse sweep from DQ Esports. Dosu Crow are your Major 1 champions. They have took down their rivals of DQ Esports, and Grogu is going to be the MVP for that match. An amazing match coming in from Dosu Crow and DQ Esports, but that is going to wrap up our entire tournament for today. Dosu Crow are our Major 1 champions, and I will see you guys in Major 2, and can't wait to introduce you guys to the next caster. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.